I ordered a H&R M16A2. I got this in a kit, or I guess they don't sell these actually in the kits, but I got the complete upper receiver, and then I ordered a strip H&R M16A2 lower. The upper's a blem, and I originally was just gonna do an unboxing of this, and that was gonna be it. I really didn't feel the need to do a shooting review or anything on it. I am planning on maybe doing, or not maybe, but I'm planning on doing a video on the H&R line in general, since now I have two of them, and my thoughts. So, but there's some things on this rifle that are not clone correct. And when I did the unboxing, I got pretty upset, and I was like, oh, I can't show that. So I figured we'll come out. I had to make sure it's zeroed because that was one of the issues with this rifle. So I wanted to come out, make sure it's zeroed, and I figure we'll talk about some things with this. The issues with this that are not, clone correct are not a huge deal. However, if they're going to do these, put these parts on the rifle, then I don't think they should be charging a premium for the rifle. So if you buy this rifle complete, it's like anywhere from like $1,200 to like $1,300 if you get the FN barrel, which is just fucking insane if you ask me. I can see them charging maybe $1,200 for the A1s because you're talking about a different lower receiver. And there's some other things going on with that. Obviously, the barrel's thinner. But this is basically a PSA's 20-inch, the AR-15 20-inch kit that you can buy, that you've been able to buy with the FN barrel installed for like $550. The only difference is it has this non-detachable carry handle. It's literally the only difference. And in fact, you may or may not be able to tell on camera, this delta ring here is actually one of my main concerns here, one of the non-clone correct parts. So yes, the A2 should have a delta ring. However, this delta ring is like a nitrated delta ring. It is not the phosphated color. That should be matching the barrel and the birdcage flash hider. I'm just really glad that they didn't stick a nitrated birdcage flash hider on here. But yeah, this is just their standard parts bin delta ring here. And this should not be on a $1,200, clone rifle, if you ask me. In fact, I used to use those 20-inch rifles, PSA cells, for their for like an A4 clone. One of the reasons I stopped doing that was because I hate this fucking black ass oxide nitrated delta ring. Now I will say that it doesn't look terrible because of how black the receivers are, and I'll roll in some pictures of it outside because I'm sure the lighting's not the best in here, but I'll put a couple pictures, and it's really not that noticeable. It's not a huge deal, but still, if you're spending $1,200-$1,300, I think you should be aware of it. One of the other issues, it's not an issue at all, there's no problems with it, you can't even tell it's in the rifle, is this rifle has M4 feed ramps in it. This rifle does not need M4 feed ramps. The only reason it has M4 feed ramps is ease of manufacturing for PSA. So the M4 feed ramps came about obviously for the burst full auto M4. With the rifle length, it doesn't need it. This should have the A2 extension, or the rifle, I guess they just call it the rifle extension. Now they do sell complete uppers with the rifle extension in, but they also sell it with the M4 feed ramps in it, and I don't think there's a difference in price. I don't know, I really don't understand why they do that. They should all get, for the $1,200-$1,300 asking price, they should all have the rifle extension. They should all have the phosphated delta rings. Now, my biggest gripe about this rifle is this gas block. So This was a blim, like I said, and actually I found this because I was showing the blim on the unboxing video I did, and actually I'll roll in a picture because I doubt you can see, but right on the gas block down here, they have some nicks from where they were trying to insert the pins. Not a big deal. I don't care. I'll take the blim. However, if you can see, maybe you can, maybe you can't. That is a F-marked front sight post. That is some ignorant stuff, if you ask me. Well, I guess, again, if you're going to ask a premium for a clone rifle, make sure that you're using the correct parts. So basically, this is using a lot of standard M4, AR-15 parts for PSA to be able to pump these out cheaper. And if they're going to do that, then they need to not be asking the clone prices that they're asking for the A1, you know, and the XM16E1 and stuff like that. So part of the reason why I want to come out and make this video is I had to make sure that this is zeroed. So if you are unaware, there is a difference in height between the F-marked front sight post and the non-F-marked front sight post. There's the non-F-marked front sight posts are for the fixed carry handle guns. The F-marked front sight posts are for the they're for the detachable carry handles. There's a little bit of a difference in the heights for when you put the rear iron sights on. Now you can overcome that by using a different height front sight post, like the little post that's in here. I'm not talking about the gas block, but the little post. So, which it looks like they did, because this is set back. I battle zeroed this for 25 yards. I know it's supposed to be meters, but I live in the US and yards is what I got. So this is at the correct 3.6 setting, and I did not have to touch the front sight. So this came zeroed from PSA at 25 yards. So they did do a good job there. Now, my other issue with this, not an issue, but the other thing is, and I've heard other people talk about this, is weapon is clear. And there's nobody behind me, but if you can see, I don't know if you can or not, I'll roll in a picture if you can't, that windage is cranked the whole way over to the right. So it is zeroed like that. Now, that is mil spec. So, I mean, this would not, if this was a government issued rifle, this would not be sent back to Colt or FN. This would be zeroed and that would be that. So it's not a problem. It's just like AKs. People get all upset about AKs when they're, you know, cannon front sight. Well, it's in spec. Honestly, it's in spec. So I'll give them a pass on that. I also would like a perfectly straight, I'm assuming the gas block's a little cannon, although it's really hard to tell. I did look, but it's hard to tell. And as long as it's not visually off, I don't care. Yeah, I can't, that may be, now that I'm looking at it, it might be a degree off, but you really have to stare at it. So it's not a big deal for me. Again, and this is my problem with PSA, they're starting to get into these clone builds, and not just with these, with like the Saberline, and they're asking like BCM prices, but yet they're doing stuff like this where they can't even get the front sight block put on straight. Also, another famous PSA trait that I've had in a lot of their guns, I haven't had it for a while. I thought maybe they had the issue worked out. That's not the case. This trigger here would not reset for like the first 20 rounds. And I put a bunch of lube down, and I don't know if you can see or not, but I'm sure you can tell on this side. You can see it running out of the pins. I put some lube down there, and after about 20 rounds, it tends to work itself out. There's just a little rough machining, or something got put on a little, the coating on the trigger got just a hair too thick, and it just needs to wear in. Again, it's not a big deal, but when you're asking $1,200, $1,400 for rifles, maybe you should get these kinks worked out ahead of time so the end user doesn't, you know, whatever. I know people are gonna complain because I'm dissing PSA, but I do like PSA. So anyways, it has come to my attention that Springfield Armory also is making these A2s. I would rather just buy the H&R, honestly. Although the Springfield is more clone correct, it has the correct front sight post, has the correct shade delta ring, and I'll roll in a Colt. I brought my Colts to the range. Maybe I'll pause the video and go grab one. I got to zero some stuff on it, and I'll see if we can see the difference in the delta rings. If not, I'll roll a picture in. Yeah, the Springfield comes with the correct delta ring, the correct front sight post. But I still would rather just buy H&R. I like PSA, and honestly, Springfield's done some non-favorable things in my opinion in the past, and I don't want to get in on that. So, I did not pay $1,200-$1,300 for this rifle. I paid $900. Like I said, I bought separate strip lower, complete upper with it being blem. Also, I wanted to say this. So this buttstock here is USGI surplus, and so is this pistol grip. And I don't know if you can see, but there's actually an R on the pistol grip there. Must stand for retard. I don't know, but they must have knew they were sending it to me. So, I just don't like the PSA, the A2 buttstocks. They look cheap to me. I don't think they are. They just look that way. Maybe that's just me. So on the website, it says premium USGI handguards. And I'm like, so what the hell does that mean? I'm like, so are they actually putting USGI surplus handguards on these A2 rifles? Well, it turns out they actually are. And how I know that is, one, I can tell by the feel, and you can tell by the look. These are not the regular fat handguards that come on the 20-inch, kit builds that you would normally buy. These are actual surplus, unissued handguards. And when you pull the handguards off, you can see that the heat shield's actually glued in per mil spec. So, that's a win. That's cool. Like I said, if they would just this stupid see, it bugs me. It really does. Because I saw a video a while back where the guy that, I can't think of his name right now, but the guy that owned Nodak Spud was saying about how they were going to make the most clone correct rifles, and they got the cool H&R lower, and then they're doing this. And I'm sure Mike's his name. I'm sure it's not him. I'm sure it's a CEO at PSA that's like, hey, nobody's going to notice the difference. We're just going to put the regular delta ring on, regular front sight post. It'll be cheaper for them. And if they're going to do that, don't charge the premium. But anyways, let's send some rounds through here. I do have, like 10 rounds of M855 green tip loaded up. Didn't reset. Didn't reset again. I thought it was worked out. What I'm going to end up doing is probably replacing this fire control group. That's a very famous PSA thing. If you've ever bought a bunch of PSA kits or assembled them, you should know that the PSA triggers are they're crap in my opinion. Seems like it's working out. So maybe I'll just put some more rounds through it and see. I built a rifle a while back for my cousin, and we were up here shooting, and his was doing the same thing. I literally just loaded a 30-round mag up and just fired it as fast as I could, reset the trigger myself, and it worked itself out. And, I'm sure this will too. But still. Anyways, I do like the rifle. I do like H&R. I like the roll marks. I think the company, what they did with Nodex Bud's cool. And that's why I'll keep supporting them. I would like to get an M16A2. I just wanted to, if you're looking at getting an A2, just know. Now, it does say in their website that they have, the F-mark front sight post come on, and it does say about the M4 feed ramps. Now, I somehow overlooked the F-mark front sight post, but it does zero. So I'll give them credit because they're using the right front sight post. I mean, this is, I'll put a picture in. It's perfect. It really is perfect. Zeroed. If you have any questions or comments, guys, please leave them down below. And thanks for watching. and I appreciate all the support everyone gives me.